There we go. That should be working. No? Okay, that made it worse. Sorry, give me a second here. There we go. Alright. Think I fixed whatever problem I was having there. Sorry, I switched out what software I'm using to stream, so this is my first time streaming via that and everything. Yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Take 2 on the intro, and it's going better already. So, I don't actually have the doll with me because it needs a little bit more maintenance that I can't do on campus, so left said doll at home, but I did pattern out what I need to do for the sort of top part of the outfit. I did that with the wrap technique. So wrap the doll in cling wrap, and then tape, draw on the pattern, cut that off, use that to make a paper pattern. So I'm going to start with just cutting out this pattern. I wish I had smaller scissors to do this with because it's a small piece, but the only small scissors I have are these ones, which I use for fabric. And you should not use your fabric scissors on paper. You will break your fabric scissors if you use them on paper. Well, not break, but blunt. You do not want blunt scissors. That is just inconvenient. Yeah. Hopefully this should work. Through here. Yeah. I'm going to be doing some stuff this weekend, because I'm staying on campus this weekend instead of going home. So I'm going to be doing some stuff around campus, because there's some events going on that I want to go to. But other than that, I have most of the weekend free, so I'm going to do some extra recording. Might stream once or twice more? I don't know, because I have to, paper pieces go in the recycling so that they're not clogging up my desk. There we go. I put the recycling right next to me while I'm doing this, so it's right there. And the trash, so it's also right there. But, what was I saying? Yeah. So I should be able to get some content and stuff up. A little bit hesitant to say I'll stream too many times this weekend, because, streaming also takes energy, and more than that, it takes my wrist being a little bit sore, because I have to be, sewing or drawing for an hour or so. But, yeah. So I got this fabric. It's just, not enough to really make, a garment out of for, a human. Which is usually what I do. I collect the scraps from other people's projects, and then I can use those. I did not iron this ahead of time, and I should have. That is what you do with fabric that you're going to be using. But it should not matter. Hopefully. Yep. I'm gonna grab... Boop. Oh, this little guy is incredible. My mom got this for me because she ordered, a pack of them for her sewing. But it just clips on, and it's full of pins. So you can just have your pins. And I really like that. That's so useful for when you're doing bigger garments. I don't think I really need it here, but... Yep. And pattern has a little bit of an odd shape, because I had to cut up here, because the doll I'm making this for has a sculpted on fin on the back that I put on with, clay. So it looks really cool, but I had to deal with the logistical nightmare of how do you make clothes to fit that. Okay. Trying to figure out how to line it up on the pattern of the fabric. There. Yeah, that should work. I wish I had smaller pins. I know you can get smaller pins, I just don't have any. Which is a little bit, just a tiny bit unfortunate, but it's fine. There we go. I just need to hold it down. Honestly, just one pin will probably work because I can just hold the rest down with my hand. And then I need a pencil. Could I be using a fabric marker that washes out? Yes. Do I have one of those with me? No. So pencil it is. Also adding seam allowance because I didn't add that to the pattern ahead of time. I'm kind of tracing a little bit outside of the lines to give me some wiggle room with putting on my, or sewing my seams. There we go. Now, I am going to, I'm just slowly pulling out of frame here. I wonder if I can, there we go. Now I can work here, which is right in front of me and still in frame. Solving problems on the fly. That's what I do. Yep. But even if I'm not pinning it through the pattern, I still probably want to pin these pieces of fabric together because I have it folded over so that I have a symmetrical piece when I'm done with it, but I don't want to have the two pieces move so it's not symmetrical. Painted my nails for you guys. I had to go to the store and get nail polish today so I could paint my nails. And it will not last because I work with my hands and nail polish does not last even remotely. All right. Where are tiny scissors? I have found tiny scissors. Yay! All right. Also, these are the crane scissors. And I don't know why crane scissors are a thing. But they are. You can buy these. And they're just like engraved with a crane. And it's like, why is this something that people have made? I don't know, but it's kind of neat. Yep. I should have brought bigger sewing scissors. Or sharper sewing scissors. These aren't great. But I did not. So, this is what I am working with because this is what I have. So I guess what I did in terms of making the pattern with what I described with the like wrapping in plastic It's sort of like draping on a dressmaker's dummy. Which I do have one of those for me, although it's at home and not at the college. Because my mom had an extra one, so I just sized it down to me. And that is incredibly useful for basically everything. Having just a body double of you that you can work on. Yee. Put up another gaming video on my YouTube today. Because technically I recorded it yesterday, but I figured out I can schedule my YouTube videos. So that is a thing that I do now. Which means that I might take advantage of having time this weekend and just record a bunch of those. Like a couple different like YouTube video style things so that I can have them as like backup videos in case I don't have time to record in a week. Because midterms just ended here. And side note, I did pretty well on my midterms, so I'm happy about that. But I was busy, so I didn't really stream or post much at all during that period. Because I was doing school. But that has resolved, so I can be here more often. Fabric's already starting to fray a little bit, but I do have a solution for that once I get this cut. Because when you're working with small pieces, they fray so fast. You will be holding them, and then they will be gone. There we go. Alright, now I unpin that. Fix my lighting here. There we go. So now I have this. With the two slits there and there. All of that. And then fabric glue is my solution. And I do not have a paintbrush, so I will go grab one. I have returned, and I have a paintbrush. Amazing thing about living in a dorm. Everything is right there, because you only have one room to live in. Alright. I have like 3 bottles of glue, and this one's unopened, and these 2 may or may not be empty, so I'm gonna try to get more glue out of these ones before I open that one. I'm trying to figure out which one's more likely to still contain glue based off of weight, but I can't. Oh, nope, it still has glue in it. That's nice. Beep. I could use fray check, yes, but I don't have that with me. And this does work. Yep. So now you just brush like a little... Focus, Mr. Camera, please. There you go. The problem is it's a clear glue, so you really can't see it. Yeah, you just brush a little line along the edge. And you can also use one of these, which I have it on the pretty side, actually, despite all of the stains, because this is the other side. But then I can just lay it down and kind of smearing the glue into the fabric a little bit because I want to kind of saturate those edges. Because that's going to be on the inside anyway. Because I'm just putting it on the seam allowance, really. So that's going to be inside of the garment. So you're not really going to see where I have it slightly darker and shiny because it's saturated. I've been using the word saturated a lot. Should I stop? No. Yeah. But yes, I went to the store today, and I'm very proud of myself. Because I went to the store on my own, I walked there, and I bought things with my debit card. And I have never done that before. Any of those things. I have never walked to a store by myself, and I have never bought anything with my debit card. Because I am weird. And just got a debit card for the first time because of a situation that stopped me from getting a debit card. Which is a long story for another day. But yeah, I did that. I went to a store and I purchased items. And it was interesting and kind of fun, and now I have items. And items are generally speaking good. I'm gonna open this other bottle. Because I also use this to hold, like, if I root hair into a doll's head, you squirt this up in there and it holds the yarn together so it doesn't come out. Or the fiber, it's not always a yarn, but... Because, like, there's artificial doll hair that you can buy from places, and I'm getting off topic. My train of thought has left me. But, like... yeah, my train of thought it's gone. It has left the station and it will never be seen again. Yep, nope, it's gone. Okay. Maybe I'll remember it and then awkwardly shout it out in the middle of talking about something else. This is my life. This is just who I am. Congratulations, you get gross glue bottle noises because my microphone is right, like, there, and the glue bottle's right here. So I'm gonna move the glue bottle so that you don't get gross glue noises. Unless maybe you like gross glue noises, but I don't know why you would. It's gross and glue related. Woo! I am in a state today. And I'm not telling you which one. And I think you can probably figure it out by the way I am being. I am in a way. This does take a while in terms of making doll garments. We have to seal in all of the sides. I like to do that before I even start sewing. Which I will be doing by hand because A, I don't have my sewing machine on me, and B, I like how I'm indicating 1 and 2 for A and B. How would I even indicate? I guess I could sign language, but I don't know that much sign language. I know a little bit. Okay. I need to get back on topic before this train of thought also just disappears forever. Yeah. I was talking about how I seal it in beforehand because it stops it from fraying, and also it, like, is hidden anyway in the finished piece. I think that's what I was going for when I said A and B, but I don't remember. Huh. I realize that all of this starts happening. Oh, thank you for following me, Tissa Girl. All of this starts happening on the one stream that I don't tag as neurodivergent. Because. Because this is the way it is. Oh! Train of thought number 2 has returned. I'm doing this by hand because I don't have my sewing machine on me, and also I'm pretty good at sewing by hand, and it works a lot better for precise stitching, which, given how small this garment is what I'm going to want. There we go. That was coherent. Yeah. Because now I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I get started, but now that won't fray because all of that's in check. Fray check. No, I'm not actually using fray check. I should be. Fray check would work better. I don't have fray check. Alright. I can get... Where have my needles? There are needles. I asked a question, it was immediately answered by my immediate surroundings. There we go. No. If I look at the pattern, this connects here, this connects here. So this and this connect like so, but the rest of it needs to get hemmed. Which I can get started on. And I just stabbed myself with the needle. Didn't even hurt, I could just, like, feel it a little bit. But somehow not in a hurty way? Yeah. Alright. The good news is, because I have the glue on it, it makes the fabric stiff. So you can kind of fold the pieces that you're going to be sewing into each other. Alright. There we go. Kind of comparing how much seam allowance I actually have. I just put that on there in completely the wrong way. That is upside down. Whoops. And I did that again. No, I didn't. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. We're off to a wonderful start, folks. Also gonna very quickly put water on a glue paintbrush and put it in the sink, because otherwise the glue will dry and the paintbrush will be ruined forever. There we go. Just kind of folding down the stuff that I'm gonna hem. Normally you'd use an iron, but I do not have one of those. College has severely limited all of my resources. pull this through. I did that wrong. I want to push it through from the inside and then pull this thread through. There's a kind of knot that I do that I don't know if other people do, but I find that it works, so I can demonstrate that. Most of my sewing is self-taught, so like a lot of the knots that I do are like, so you pull it so that both of the ends are on the same side, but are still going through both layers of the fabric that you want to sew. And then you just tie a knot. And then you pull one end. Once I get the fabric detangled from the thread, there we go. You pull one end of this down, cut the excess off of the knot, pull here, and now you have a little knot that is flush with the fabric and barely visible. All right. Now I can start sewing this, and I dropped it. All right. I'm just gonna do kind of a straight stitch here. Nothing fancy for this one. Especially because this is a cotton, I think. I may be completely wrong about that because I'm not great at identifying fabric, but at the very least it's like a weave. So, and it's a pretty like coarse weave, I guess, the opposite of a fine weave. So that's also why I had to fray check the hell out of it, because otherwise it would have frayed a lot, because you can kind of see it was trying to do there before I fray checked it. Right there. You can see the threads. This whole thing would have come apart if I hadn't done that because of the nature of the kind of fabric. But it also means that this fabric is kind of thin, and it would be very difficult for me to do a fancier stitch on this. If I do a running stitch, I can do a couple stitches at once by just doing that. And then that gives me just little stitches there. I did not grab a thread that matches because my thread options are, I made bobbins of thread before I came to college because I didn't want to have to bring whole thread rolls. Rolls? Spools! Spools is the word. Yes, I did not want to bring whole thread. My mouth just failed. Whole thread spools. Thread spool, not spread thule. I don't know what I was even gonna say there. But, so I brought like bobbins of thread. So I have this stuff which is very thick, and I use that for repair work. So if I have to fix like anything that isn't a garment, I'll use that because it can sew through a lot of stuff and it holds really well. And then I just brought some plain white thread for pretty much all other repairs because I figured that that's what I'd need. But I did not get any of the cornflower blue thread while I was at home, despite having access to a collection of threads at home. That is all right. It is fine. Pick it up not this weekend, because I'm staying here this weekend, but maybe next weekend. Boop. Never know what to say when people ask, like, what content do you make? Like, when people find out that I'm a content creator. Because, like, a lot of it? Yes, I make content. I do sewing, I do customizing, I do a lot of customizing of things with, like, paint and stitching and all of that and embroidery. But I also do gaming videos on my YouTube, and I also do educational gaming videos, apparently. Because, like, I was recording a video about Niche, or a video of me playing Niche, because it's one of my favorite games. And, like, I just went, like, full, like, environmental science major on it, and explained what genotype meant, what phenotype meant, what transgenic meant, which makes sense because the game itself is about, like, selective breeding and genetic survival. But, like, yeah, finger guns. I do, like, all of the things because I like doing things, and I like sharing them, and I don't really care what said thing is. It's like, I do art sometimes. I also do games sometimes. Although I don't know how to stream games because I have a laptop and not a desktop. So I can record gaming videos. I cannot stream them because I don't know what settings would make this laptop be able to run both a video game and a stream at the same time. And I feel like whatever it was might summon something. 'Cause that would have to be some, like, powerful dark magic to make this little laptop. It tries so hard, but I once again just went completely out of shot there. Whoops. But this little laptop, it does its best. And it does pretty well. But I don't think it has the capacity to do both of those things at once without some heavy setting stuff. Which maybe I'll figure out how to do at some point. To spite God, I guess, if nothing else. I suppose I should watch out for my hubris. There we go. Have that much of it done. Sometimes I don't know if my chat is working or if people are just being quiet. It's like I have to check on my phone because that's where I have my stream manager at. See if, like, is it just that the chat that I'm looking at over there on my computer is, like, not updating? Or are people not talking? Questions. There we go. You're a little bit uneven, but I think it's subtle enough. And it still kind of works well. All right. Nope. All right, we're good. We good. build that piece up so I can get started there. Something I notice is that when I'm talking clearly, my voice does not have vocal fry to it, but like if I lower my voice, it does, and that's weird. There's probably something that I'm doing wrong in terms of like speaking when I do that, but also might be that I need to drink more water. So I am drinking water. And I didn't spill it on myself. Because I did that once, twice, in the same live stream, and I will never live it down. Everybody gets to see me spill water on myself now. The wonders of being a content creator. Also, like, I have 3 episodes of that niche playthrough uploaded. I guess not playthrough because it's an open game. You don't really complete it. But of that niche let's play, that's the word. I have 3 episodes of that up. And, like, in the second one, you get to see me stumble over the word swam for a solid, like, 15 to 30 seconds of just me debating whether or not it's swum or swimmed before I remember that it's swam. And then in the episode immediately after that, you get to hear me explain genetics concepts to you. And it's like, I think that summarizes me well, because I am both pretty smart and also an idiot. It just depends on the time of day and, like, what I'm talking about. Because I'm really good at genetics and I'm really good at statistics. And, like, anything biology, I have that. And most science concepts, I'm fine. But I can't speak. Speaking is difficult. It's kind of a problem that speaking is a problem. And I have chosen an ironic hobby of talking into a microphone for several hours when one of my biggest struggles is as demonstrated, the ability to speak properly. Boop. 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 Feels right to say boop whenever you make a stitch. Boop. There you go. Let's readjust this. Oddly enough, it didn't really dry shiny, which is what I expected it to do, but I guess it's fabric glue, so it doesn't. I have fabric glue. I just remembered that there's some stuff that I would need to repair, but I was like, I'll get fabric glue next time I'm home over the weekend. And then I went home over the weekend and I got fabric glue for a completely unrelated reason. And then I completely forgot that I had the repair job, and when I remembered the repair job, I completely forgot that I had the glue to do it. And I just put 2 and 2 together, and it's like, I can totally do that now. Brain. Don't know why my brain is being this way today. But it's kind of fun. I was honestly considering almost leaning into the educational aspect of, like, my brand, I guess. I don't really have one of those, because I've been doing this for... Oh god, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I don't even have, like, the semblance of a brand other than I'm chill and will do things quietly while talking to you. Which I guess is kind of a brand, but not really. I don't know. But the, yeah. Also because me explaining things to people helps me understand them, and I'm in college. So, like, I could honestly just go through and rewrite all of my notes on camera and explain the concepts. And, like, I don't know if it would help educate anybody else because I have some teaching experience, like, volunteer wise, but I'm not good at it, I don't think. So, like, I don't think it would serve much, like, educational value other than, like, entertaining. Watching me explain the stuff in probably a bad way. But yeah, it would probably help me understand the concepts. Because right now I have. Hang on, I gotta show you guys something. Good news is I have my backpack right here. There it is. Boop! I have Study Duck. This is one of my dad's old programming ducks. And the thing with a programming duck is that you explain the code line by line to the duck, and then it helps you see the errors in like the code you've written because you're going through it slowly. So I do that with like math equations where I explain how to do it, and it helps me see if I did it wrong and how I did it wrong and how I can fix it and all of that. So like I don't know, that's kind of where I got the idea for this like what might become a thing that I do. I don't know. I ran it past a few of my friends and they said that it like was something they would watch, so I figure that if I'm gonna be messing around with my brand and like changing it up a bunch, I should do it well I don't have many people following me, I guess, cuz I don't really expect to get a lot of people to watch my stuff, but like over time more people are gonna sort of accumulate who are gonna be interested in watching my stuff and are gonna be watching my videos. But so I figure that words. I figure that if I want to mess with my brand, I should do it early so that I'm not already established, I guess, before I really set anything in stone about who. I guess I know who Corvus is. And congrats to anybody who is watching this who didn't already know my actual name. I don't really keep it a secret on here, but I also don't put it in my bio, so you have to watch the streams to find out what I'm called. But, like, I guess it's not about who Corvus is, it's about who CJM Customs is, because there is sort of a distinction in that Corvus is me as I am, and CJM Customs is probably going to be me as people interpret me online. So, if I want to mess around with my stuff, I should do it before a lot of people already have an idea of what I do in their heads, is what I'm thinking. Figure out what kind of content creator I want to be before I create a bunch of content. Better to do it early. I do have a lot of stuff planned. And, like, I have a lot of stuff planned that's just completely weird, I guess, in terms of, like, it would make sense if I was X, Y kind of, or X or Y kind of, like, YouTuber or streamer, but, like, as I am now, it's like, why are you doing all of this random stuff? Because, why not? Yeah. I don't know. I have to redirect here because there's like the direction that my brain is going is something that I want to discuss on like a specifically tagged stream, I guess, or like in a video. Okay. I have successfully redirected because I just did this. And I forgot how much I love doing that. I'm going to hold it by the mic. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it makes a wonderful noise. Yoop, yoop. There we go. Boop. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm probably going to discuss in a more, like, serious style video. And, like, I just said that and then I realized that sounds concerning. It's not. I promise you. I just. Yee. Oh, hey, Amanda. I am making. You can kind of see how it's going to go together. It's like, sort of. Here's the patterns. This is half of the piece. It's sort of. Boop. I'm making kind of the top piece for the merfolk doll I made a couple streams ago. I say a couple streams ago. I don't even remember how many streams ago it was. Or that I was working on, rather. It's not done. Yeah. So, I cut everything out. I sealed everything in. Yeah. In a second, I'm going to wake up the other chat views so that I can see better. Come on. There we go. Other than that, I'm just looking at it like as it shows up there. I realize I just pointed off of camera where you can't see it. And I know that. You get a slightly scatterbrained Corvus tonight. But yeah. Saying. Yeah. There's some stuff that I want to talk about, like, in a specialized stream, I guess. It's sort of. I don't know. I think it's, like, mostly cotton, based off of my experience with working with cotton, which is mostly making face masks. But has a, like, nice pattern to it. It's a cut off scrap from one of my mom's projects, because that's where I get most of my fabric. There we go. If I hold it like that, you can kind of see the raised detailing. And then I patterned it out on paper by wrapping the doll in plastic, coating that plastic in tape, drawing out the pattern, cutting it out, and then tracing that onto the paper. So that gives me tailored to the doll to be a little bit, like, still flexible enough, but a little bit tighter to the body, if that makes sense. Sort of similar to the sort of draping style you would do if you were tailoring on a dressmaker's dummy. Yeah. But yeah. Some stuff I want to, like, address about, like, me and my relationship with making content and all of that. Because it's mostly positive, I will admit. I've been having a great time making these. But I try to figure out how to phrase this. I understand why content creators aren't usually as transparent about that stuff, because it is really personal and also I guess, sometimes kind of a bummer to throw at fans, but I feel like being transparent about, because like you're affecting your fans, but your fans are also affecting you, and making stuff is also affecting you, and I feel like people should talk about that side of it more. So yeah, I am probably gonna make a video at some point going over all that, and specifically how it relates to my relationship with making content, which is great most of the time, but you know, kind of putting yourself out there and stuff. Yeah. Mm. Did Halloween is coming up, which is fun. And there's some events going on campus. One of them's like a I don't know how to describe it. Like a meal thing in the dining hall with like games and stuff and costumes recommended. So I went home and I got my cosplay. And I'm pretty sure when they say or costumes recommended, they weren't really intending for like full cosplay style costumes. Like skin tight bodysuit and face paint, which is what I'm gonna do. Because I worked really hard on that and around making that bodysuit and making the pattern and all that. Yeah. So I am excited for that event. Doing what I call a butterfly knot because that's, I'm pretty sure, what it was introduced to me as. My dad taught me how to do this one because he's the one who taught me how to sew buttons onto things. And then he forgot his technique for sewing buttons onto things, so I had to teach him his own technique again. But like you make a loop, you pull the fabric through it, and then repeat because that makes another loop that you pull through. And it makes like a really nice little flush knot. You can see it there. Eee. I am proud of my cosplay. And I might post photos of it on one of my social medias, but I will, like, I don't know. I'm working on that. I might still blur my face and stuff because separating content and content creator or whatever. Yeah, there's that main sort of seam done, hemming around the edges and the bottom. Which means that you have betrayed me. I tried to turn off my microphone and it didn't. Which might mean that I'm using the wrong microphone. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Yeah. Drinking water. I was going to say something. I don't remember. Okay. Where is my thread? Thread? Where'd it go? I feel like it didn't get put away correctly in the right spot. Huh? This is distressing. Hmm. checking all of the boxes where it might be. Because I need that. It does not seem to be where it belongs. Oh, thank you. Yee. Went and bought some nail polish today, so I painted my nails because I like to do that before I do a stream where I'm like showing my hands because it makes my hands easier to track, I guess, and also just look nicer. The crisis has not yet been resolved involving where the heck did I put the thread? Huh. This is what happens when you don't put stuff away properly after you're done working on a thing. You have to go on a wild goose chase for your thread. And boy, is this goose running. I think I just invented a turn of phrase there and I like it. Huh. I found a needle. It's not my thread, but I did find a needle. Wasn't in a haystack either. Okay. I think I can improvise something here. Give me 1 second. Yes, a part of the mission is complete. The rest of the mission might be about to become complete. Because I do have embroidery thread, and this particular kind of embroidery thread can be separated. I have white thread, even though it's not the same white thread, but it still looks about right. Improvise. Yeah. It is. Also, just so you know, I know Enchanted Deer is somebody who I know in real life, but I can't remember which person, and honestly, every time you show up in the chat, I'm just tempted to call you Deary, and I might start doing that. Because, like, Enchanted Deer, but also because, like, affectionate nickname, I guess? Alright, Deary. But yes, hello. Actually, I might be able to separate this down further because this is still pretty thick for a thread. But I may be about to destroy something, like this perfectly good thread, by trying to lice it in half again. Lice? I know that's an actual word, because that's a word that you use when you're talking about cell biology. But it feels weird to say lice something, like to cut it, in reference to anything other than a cell? I just have a biology on the brain. Don't I always? Alright, I think I got it. Got it. No, I don't. It has died. Okay. You guys. Alright. That didn't work. And that is fine. Honestly. Alright, I have a plan. Boop. 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 I need to tie a knot here. I think I'm going to do that by just making a larger knot. I'm just going to wrap this around and around and around. That should hold. Just realized that there's a much easier way I could have done that, but... So I didn't double over the thread this time. I'm using it more like an embroidery floss. Embroidery floss with an F and not a th. TH. Embroidery floss. Floss. That's not a word. But I also know how to embroider, so we should still be fine. Alright. So. Now I need to hem the neckline, which is going to be difficult. I can already tell you. Tucking the knot away inside of this hem. So it's not visible from either side, even though the garment will have an outside and an inside, I guess. Yeah. It moved. There we go. Alright. Yeah, hemming the neck requires a very lot. That's a phrase. No, it's not. A lot of like very precise stitches. That's what I was trying to say. I got there eventually. That's my relationship with talking. I get there eventually. Yeah. I maybe should have thought this through when I made the pattern about how exactly you would hem this, but I didn't. Yeah. So, I opened this can of worms, now I must lie in it. I love malaphors as I think the word. That might not be the word at all, that's just what's coming to mind. And you take two turns of phrase and smash them together. I opened this can of worms, now I'll lie in it. Not the brightest knife in the shed. To do something here. I was using my phone to look at the chat, but my phone is about to die. So I'm gonna pull it up on my computer. And hopefully that'll work. There we go. I got it. Rest in peace, phone. You will be missed. Yeah, this is coming along pretty much the way I wanted it to. It's so difficult to hem a curve. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Boop. Yeah. You can see the little curve there. That's what I was doing. Thank you. I have been practicing since I can't even remember how young. Yeah. I realized my mom would have let me borrow the sewing machine, but I never wanted to ask. So, like, whenever I needed to sew something, I just hand sewed it. And eventually I got so used to hand sewing that I just, like, even when I could, like, I got blanket permissions for using the sewing machine. I could do it. I didn't. Now I have my own sewing machine. I didn't bring it with me to college, and I could have gone and gotten it last weekend for this project, but I didn't because this is honestly easier to do by hand when the stitches are this small and have to be this precise. I could do it on the machine, It would just be a little bit difficult and time consuming. When I could also do it by hand. Besides, it's hard to live stream using a sewing machine. It is loud, and it shakes the table. I'm sure there are people who do. But I am not one of them. What time is it? Dang, I've been streaming for an hour. No point in stopping now. Not yet, anyway. Alright, I'm gonna try to do something here. Trying to get this dart in. And I've never done a dart this small. I'm also trying to get it in with the same thread that I did the hem with here. Which may make it easier or harder, I don't know. As I said, I have never done this before. Honestly, 50% of the time when I stream, I'm using methods I haven't tested. And like both in terms of the hardware of streaming and also the Thank you for the reminder, Amanda. I will do that. Stretching. Yeah. Most of the time when I'm streaming, it's stuff that I've never done before, either on or off stream. There we go. My whole back just popped. Okay. And stretching out the wrists. I have been hydrating during the stream. Mostly because if I don't, my voice will get scratchy. If I want to keep my voice all smooth and nice, I gotta drink water. Alright. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. Like when I'm streaming art and stuff, it's usually not techniques I have done before ever. Yeah. Yeah. It's also nice because, like, if I mess up, I want people to know that, I guess. Because the stuff I make is pretty good. And I don't want people to think that I'm just doing this because, like, I have a gift for it or because I'm a genius or anything. I like having people see the process. Yee. So that, like, I don't know. I sort of like to go with the narrative that what I'm doing isn't unique, I guess. Well, it is because, like, nobody else can do this in the way I do. But what I'm doing isn't like. Thank you, dearie. Yeah. Once again, moments where I'm glad I don't have a face cam because blushy. But I just unthreaded my. I have unthreaded my needle. I need to rethread my needle. But sort of whenever everybody can do this kind of stuff, but everyone will do it differently, I guess. There's that dart. And that kind of gives it a little bit of a shape to it. So it fits around the chest. But sort of, I don't know. I don't feel qualified to teach people techniques, but I do want to lift up other artists and like people who want to be artists because that's really all you need to do in order to be an artist is have the motivation to want to do that because that's how you practice and that's how you get really good. So kind of showing the process and showing that like me making a mistake or me losing all of my thread because yeah. Kind of showing that I think helps a little bit with other people doing all of the things. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how good I am of a teacher, although I get the feeling based off of the fact that, like, there are people who have learned from me. I'm assuming that I'm a better teacher than I give myself credit for, but yeah, because this is actually my first time sewing a doll garment by hand, because the last I've made two sort of doll outfits. And the first one was a no sew thing that I did with like well not no sew, I had to sew a clasp in the back, but it was mostly like glue and stuff. And then okay, three doll outfits because I did a suit of armor. And that was sewn but out of foam. And then I did one that was done on a sewing machine. And I wasn't able to get this precision in the stitches, and the fabric did fray because I didn't fray check it. So this is sort of the first like sort of test drive of using all of the stuff I've learned over the last few failed or I guess not failed, but not perfect attempts. Not perfect also isn't the right wording because your art is never perfect. Because you can always do better. And that sounds pessimistic, but it's sort of not, because I like to think of it as if you say that what you made is perfect, that doesn't give you enough credit, because that eliminates the possibility of you doing something even better someday. And pretty much everybody will. Your essay isn't perfect because you'll write a better one. It's incredible, but it isn't perfect because you write something even more amazing. That's sort of why you don't go for perfection. You go for either better than your last thing or just for what can I learn along the way of doing this. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Yeah. I think sometimes what I end up teaching people isn't what I set out to teach people, but I think I do usually end up teaching a good lesson one way or another. And that is a perfectly valid approach to anything. Right. You shouldn't get too caught up in the goal of what you're doing so much as where you're going to end up. Because sometimes you set out to get somewhere and you don't, but you end up somewhere even better. And if you're just focused on the fact that you didn't end up where you're trying to go, you're not going to get there, I guess. You, you're not going to notice that where you are is still a good place to be if you're always caught up in the fact that it isn't where you were trying to go. Sometimes my projects don't turn out the way I want them to, but they still turn out in a way. And sometimes that way is really cool if I think about it. This is why I put the mindfulness tags on my screen or on my streams. Because one way or another, I will teach you to be kind to yourself and be mindful, even if it's like through the guise of friendly sewing. That's just what I do. There's sort of one side of it done. And then this connects to here, I think. Yeah, that's right. And then that gives me armhole, chest spot, neck spot, because that connects into the back curve. And then this is probably where I'm going to put, I don't think I'm going to put a snap here. I think I'm going to do a hook and eye closure, if anything, because I think that'll work better with the design. But to kind of close it off there, and then attach that there. Because theoretically this should work. I did not bring a doll body to model it on, and I should have, but I didn't. So, we're improvising. Yeah. It's also why I like doll customizing, I guess. Isn't most of the dolls that I customize, scratch that, all of the ones that I have right now to be customized, I haven't purchased any of them like from a store. They're all thrifted. And really think that's a nice thing to have, like, something from a thrift store and fix it up. I really like fixing things. And both because it's fun and, like, hey, here's a new thing that's useful again because you fixed it up. But also because, like, I guess it's just with sort of a philosophical meaning. Exactly. And getting kind of, yeah, more into the, like, philosophical kind of analogy. I think through fixing something old and worn, you can kind of, like, you're showing kindness to it. And that's really important. And also, it kind of makes you think that you're fixable too, which is kind of a sad way to put it, but it really does. Like, if you're down on yourself at the time, you can sort of use the logic of, I fixed this, and I thought it was beyond repair. So whatever mistake I made, I can fix that too. Yeah. And you can do that with yourself. Yeah. I don't know. I started being deep in my videos, and I just, like, have decided to accept it. Just, this is a part of my brand now. If you wait until the last, like, hour of the stream, that's when things get heavy. There we go. Almost done with the second dart. Boop. There you go. There's that front piece. I kind of have the neck hole, the two armholes. Yeah. This should work. I just have to finish hemming this. And then stitch the armholes shut. Uh-oh, we buffered for a second there. Alright, yeah, we're fine, just a few dropped frames. Just wanted to check the connectivity and make sure everything's still running. And it does seem to be, so we're fine. Thank you. Yeah. Went digging through the fabric box. Found some scraps. And the nice thing about making doll clothes is that this scrap was already too small to use to make anything bigger. But here's the rest of the scrap. There is quite a bit. And I can definitely make more stuff out of this. Yeah. And that's a piece that's like still useful, but too small to really be used in like a classic tailoring sense. So I'm saving fabric waste because that is an offcut from another project that probably would have gotten thrown away. But I can make a lot of very cute clothes out of it. So it has been added to the bag of fabric scrap that I steal from to make my stuff. I say steal, but like nobody else wanted them, so I just put them in a bag and took it. Yeah. Sometimes now when my mom makes stuff, she'll gather up all of the scraps that she thinks are big enough to be worth saving and put them in a box and then just give them to me. And then I can sort through it and find the stuff that I think will be useful. And put that, yeah, put that in my bag. I have some great fabrics in there that I want to use. There. Going around the sort of curve under the armpit, and that's where you have to be really precise, because that's where you have all of these curve. All of these curve. That's a grammatically correct sentence. What are you talking about? Yeah. Gonna be honest, guys, this is turning out great. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go, because I haven't tried hand sewing something this small or precise before, but you don't know unless you try, and this does seem to be within my skill level. So I can do more stuff like this. I have proven myself capable of doing that. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah. Also, looking into setting up something that I can use to, like, sell some of my, or sell, like, prints and stuff of some of the digital art that I've made. Because I am aware that I'm pretty sure it was Amanda who wants to buy one of those. And apparently I make good enough stuff that that's a thing that is viable, so I might do that. I also might, that one piece that I did, the Forest Guardian, I might pre-buy some prints and, like, order them from a shop that makes those and, like, take them to a convention, because the convention I go to every year has a art show where you can sell art and stuff. And I think I have reached the point where I'm making stuff of that quality. So, I might do that. There we go. Hmm. Got it. Okay. I just had to take a second to remember how this goes together. But I got it. Yay. Thank you. Boop. All right. I'm gonna tie my thread in a knot around the side. Which is a technique that I don't know if it has a name, but it works. So it's what I do. Yep. And then you just have a little knot integrated into the side. Integrated. I'm using big words tonight. I should loop that again. Yeah. You begin to understand what I mean when I say that my hands don't shake. Getting all of those stitches in. I begin to realize also that my sewing experience might have something to do with why that is. Because it's really helpful in a lot of art. But it's also slightly confusing that that's just something that doesn't happen to me. Since I'm really good at dexterity things. I'm rethreading my needle here. Give me a second. Why won't my needle rethread? Did I get it? No, I did not. Okay. I'm gonna trim this a little bit. Grab that. There we go. Reach down. Yeah. All right. Stitching this closed. Hmm. There we go. Alright, I need to tie that off, but first check this out. And this piece goes there. It gives you that shape. Oh, it's turning out so well. I have a pretty good knowledge of how to pattern things. I'm happy that the darts worked out. I wasn't so sure about those when I put them in. When I put them on the pattern, then when I was sewing them, I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work on this scale. But it did. And that is very nice. Alright, doing another one of those butterfly knot things. I call them butterfly knots. I don't know if that's the actual word. Yeah. I don't know very many knots. And some of the ones I do know are ones that I made up. Like, I probably wasn't the first person to make that up. Just cutting a straight thread off there. But, yeah. There's that half done. Then I have, one more seam to do. Here. I just have to sew that to there. But I need more thread. Where is that piece I was using to make thread out of? Where'd it go? Boop. Thread thing? There it is. Yep. Just need to grab another piece. That is incredibly satisfying. There we go. Punch that through there. Tie this knot here. There. Alright. I'm going to want to tie that again to reinforce it. And I want to cut that a little bit shorter. There we go. Pushing through like four or five layers there to get that stitch in. There we go. So close. It's almost done. See how that went before I tie it off. Yeah, that's good. Do one more stitch and then I'm going to tie it. My auto moderator just flagged you, and I don't know why. Modbot, I love you, but do better. Please. Do not flag my friends. There we go. Gonna tie this. I stabbed myself there, but I don't think it even went through my skin. I didn't feel it pretty much at all, other than like knowing that I stabbed myself there. Alright. Just tying another little knot here. Yes, you are in trouble for no reason. The good news is that AutoMod asks me before it blocks things. It just holds it back and then tells me. There we go. Eh. It's so good. And then it seals up in the back there with probably just a little snap. Or like a hook and eye seems like the right way to do that. And I had to leave this like little triangle of space in the back because the doll I'm fitting it for has a clay back fin that I made that I want to fit there. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to sit right, but I think because I took those darts, it probably will. Yeah. And the fabric pattern, I had to be so careful when I was cutting the fabric because I wanted to make the pattern line up. And focus, Mr. Camera. Thank you. There you go. I think it did line up pretty well there. Putting on that flower motif. Yeah! I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the outfit, but I think that's pretty good. I might stick with the flower motif because I think it looks good, but probably not more of this fabric because that might be a little bit much of just that one thing. But I might do more flower pattern stuff or theme to it. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah. I think it paid off doing the wrapping technique to get the sort of dummy form to make the pattern out of. Do you do that? Yeah. I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with it. Woo. I feel like that could be like, oh, what's it called? My slogan. Come for the content and then leave with new motivation and weird turns of phrases that I made up. Yeah. So, I'm gonna try to do something here. Turn to this, and it kept the audio input capture turned on. Yay! Yes. So, my social media is around the screen now. So, going into the outro. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. My social medias are up on the screen now. Screen, not up on the scream, although I guess it is Halloween season. Yes, thank you to everybody who stopped by on the live stream and to everybody who's watching the recording. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!